Listen to In Such a Place, an all-new podcast from Miami University.
Hello, I'm Greg Crawford, president of Miami University, and welcome to In Such a Place, the podcast where we explore the future of higher education and the vital role colleges and universities play in shaping our world.
We'll talk about important social issues, like the growing mental health crisis among children.
I asked the question whether or not the pandemic, it's over now, but how will it impact students in the future?
So what we saw during the pandemic were those rates of anxiety and depression started to skyrocket, in addition to some other things, including social isolation.
About new advances in neuroscience and its impact on serious issues facing society today.
So you've explored now exposure to stress and how that might affect alcohol and drug intake. How does stress change the brain in ways that make people more susceptible to addictive behaviors?
We know that exposure to stress, maybe early in your life or recently, make people more likely to transition from just this casual use to what we call compulsive use, or this uncontrollable use. And in fact, that people who drink to cope, which is to deal with stress, that is actually the most risky type of drinking. So when you drink to cope and relieve your negative emotion to make yourself sort of feel better, you're much more likely to have problems with your alcohol use.
About how universities and local communities can come together to improve the ways we all live and work.
Let's talk a little bit about workforce. We hear this from families and students, how they're really focused on sort of not just graduating, but also graduating into a great career opportunity.
Well, no, thank you for that question, President Crawford. The first thing I would say is workforce is going to be a big driver for higher education across the board as we go forward. When you think about the national landscape, workforce continues to be the number one issue that we have in all of our communities. Parents are asking, what are the jobs my students are going to get when they come out of school? Students want to understand, when they start calculating that ROI, it's the cost they pay, but also what they're going to earn when they come out and work. And so when we start to think about bridging that gap, a big thing we've got to do is we've got to find ways to be better engaged with industry early in the process. And so we're working very closely with our industry partners to make sure we're developing graduates that are ready to go out into those jobs they're looking for.
Whether you're a student, educator, or just passionate about the future, these conversations will inspire you to think differently about how higher education can transform our world. So join us as we chart a path forward and listen to In Such a Place, coming soon from Miami University.